Cameron, a DIY obsessed, home improvement and renovation freak. I've been renovating and modifying properties for over 10 years and I'll take on pretty much any DIY task throughout the house. As long as the project's inspiring and interesting, I'll give it a go. I've faced some incredibly tough challenges in the DIY space throughout the years, but none have been as exciting and possibly as difficult as this one. I'll be taking you guys along for the full renovation from start to finish of this 1973 property whilst we turn it into a modern home for the family. Yeah, I was hoping it wasn't going to come to this, but I did have a funny feeling that it would. Yeah, green goo. Before I do that, I'm brewing a custard cream. This DIYer won't give up without a fight. This is the renovation. We're going to start excavating some land ready to build a workshop / garden room. So I'm going to be taking you on this little adventure with me, and it's going to be kind of a mini series within the renovation series. We're going to knock this old rotten shed down here, so that's going to go, and then I've got a little bit of help from a few friends, and we're going to excavate all this land here ready to get our concrete pad down, and you're going to see all of that in this episode, so stick around. First thing, I'm going to take this old shed down. It's pretty rotten anyway. To be honest, I was just going to knock it down. I was actually going to drive the digger through it. But my mate has now told me that he wants this to use as some sort of potting shed on his farm. So I've got to try and take it down without completely destroying it. But it's been there some years, so we'll see how that goes. He might have some repair work to do. So I'll start with the easy bits. Start by getting the doors out of the way first. I know very little about roses and flowers in general, so if I'm cutting back a rose bush wrong, tell me in the comments if you're a keen gardener. I don't think you'll want the old rotten trellis, so we'll have that out of the way. Right, let's see if any of the screws for the roof actually come out or if they're all too rusty. Surprised, they actually aren't too bad. If they all come out like that, this might not be too bad after all. I don't think there's going to be any struggles guessing what tool of the day is going to be. Don't say it. There's only the odd one in playing ball, really. Nothing that we can't handle though. So the roof's too heavy. I'm never going to get it off on my own. I've got some bars in there, felt the weight of it. It's just not going to happen, and I've got nobody available today to come and give me a hand. This needs to get out of the way. What I'm going to try and do is unbolt each end panel, so this panel here and the back panel. I can see that they're bolted on with a simple nut and bolt, and then push the whole thing over flat pack. This could go horribly wrong, so I'm going to push this thing over and see if it survives. That's quicker. So all the bolts are out, and essentially all we've got now is a flat pack shed that's kind of propping itself up. You can see this thing is pretty much about to fall over, but there's something holding it together right on the ridge here. This is one of them where you keep the camera rolling just in case you fall off. Things I do for YouTube. There's got to be some nails under this tongue and groove holding this ridge onto the end panels, so we need to get them out. Persuader required. Right, now we're getting somewhere. Ooh, I think we might end up losing half the shed here. Right, I'm going around the back and I'm going to push it, and let's see what happens. Yes, off. Let's do the other side. So you know I've been telling you for the last 3 years to give things a go at home. Well, probably best to strike this one up as entertainment only. Well, I did tell him it would be flat pack, so I'll have a little clear up. The shed's getting picked up tomorrow when the digger arrives. I need to start chopping down some of these old shrubs. Let's start attacking some of this and get it flattened off, ready for the digger. So we're back with our old friend the reciprocating saw for most of the bigger shrubs and trees, and then I just clear the rest of the area using shears and a strimmer just to flatten it off, and the digger will take care of the smaller stuff. Apart from that apple tree, we've got a lovely clear area for our workshop. What I do just want to do just before the digger arrives is just mark out roughly with some stakes the area that we need to excavate. Because what I don't want to do is be wasting time doing that in a little while, because I've only got the digger for a day. So I'm going to go around with some little stakes, a lump hammer and a tape measure. These are really good tapes, by the way. I really like it. It's my new go-to tape. So I'm going to go around, I'm going to mark out the area, bang some stakes in, get it roughly square. Right, 600 off the boundary. So the reason I want to keep it 600mm from the boundary is mainly to give me access down the side of the building. And to keep the building within permitted development and not have to get planning permission, I'll need to fix non-combustible sheets to the sides that border onto the boundary. So leaving 600mm gives me space to fix the metal cladding, non-combustible sheets, and work on the fence if I need to. So I'm having this kind of debate with myself really. Do I go 4 by 5 meters or do I go 4 by 6 meters? I know timber's expensive at the moment, but I don't want to regret it later, so I'm thinking maybe I go 4 by 6. Well, big is always better, so let's go 4 by 6. Slight change to the original plan. So the total size of the workshop will be 24 square meters, which keeps it under the 30 square meters that we need to stay under for permitted development, which will also mean we can only go to 2.5 meters high at the highest point. So I've staked out a rough area. What I'm going to do now is just go around and square that up a bit, and then it'll be time to get the big boys' toys out. So the digger has arrived, and this is the moment where we find out if it fits through the gate or whether I'm going to look really stupid. Or maybe I'll just take the gate out. Oh, it fits, whee! Nearly took the wall out. Whoop. Slight scratch. Guys, if you haven't seen it already, go and check out the new membership program called the DIY Club that I've now launched on my channel. For the price of a cup of coffee, you can help to support the channel so that I can continue to teach you guys new skills and bring you big projects like you see here today. And there's a whole host of perks available. So click on the join button and go and give it a look. Right, first job of the day, we got to get this apple tree out because I want to try and save it. Whether it'll actually survive, who knows, but let's dig it out with a big ball around it, plonk it in a new hole, and then that thing will be out of the way. So I don't have a huge amount of experience on a mini digger, having only driven a couple before, and I've never driven one like this. So I did struggle a little bit to start with. Well, I intended to get a ball out, but the soil was a bit loose, so yeah, and I'm not used to driving this thing, so it's kind of fell over, but we'll see if it survives. Right, so that's the trees out the way. We can get on with digging out for the pad. So I've swapped over to the bigger bucket now, and I'm digging down around 200mm from the ground level and using the stakes just to give me a rough area. I'm just going around and getting the bulk of the soil off first, and then we'll go around and level it off and make it a bit prettier afterwards. Everything was going so smoothly until we ran into this problem. That's that point where that back wheel hits. So we've got this little mini dumper, and to be honest with you, this is a 2-wheel drive one, and the guy said that the 4-wheel drive one's broken. So we're really having a job getting the dumper up the ramp into the skip. It just keeps stalling. So we'll hit it again and see what happens. I just hope I don't have to handball all this into the skip. We managed to get it up there. I think we need to put a little bit less in it though, because it's an absolute nightmare. The longer I spent driving the digger, I did get a bit better at it, And by the end of the day I was good enough to get the ground nicely flattened out, and you can see here we've got a nice area to work with. That is job done. Hot work. That's the bulk of the soil out. So we've excavated the ground down to 200 mil beneath our finished surface, which is highlighted by these stakes here. That'll give us the perfect level for our base, and I'll explain a little bit more to you about that in future episodes. I'll explain a little bit about what levels of type 1 we're going to be putting in, binding sand and cement, and I'll be showing you what the finished levels are. I'll tell you what, it's been a hot old day and I think I've earned a cold lemonade. So what we're going to do now is just finish leveling this off, pack up for the day, and in the next episode you're going to see me start to construct the pad for the workshop. Now I'm going to bring this whole thing to you as part of the renovation series, so you're going to see videos from how to lay a workshop base right through to putting the roof on the thing and cladding it at the end, and I'll be covering every little bit of that process as we go, so you don't want to miss it. Make sure you like the video if it's helped, make sure you subscribe because you don't want to miss future episodes, and I'll see you guys in the next one.